Progress. Okay, welcome to our mastermind session. We do this every Thursday. So we are lucky enough this week to have one of our very own agents doing a mastermind, Yulin. So hold on, let me put this on speaker view because when we record it, then it looks better that way. So we have one of our very own agents based out of our Arcadia office, Yulin Hung, who I asked to do the mastermind this week. And, for a variety of different reasons, and we'll get into that. But I think we're going to get a lot out of this, and we're going to record this. We didn't normally, we send out like a mass message to a bunch of outside people and things along those lines. We didn't do that this week. But we're going to have this recorded, so it'll be sent out to everybody as well. So to all the masses of people out there. So anyway, so a lot of really good stuff. So Yulin, you there? Can you hear me? We clear?
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Woohoo!
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, no, thank you. I mean, we're going to get a lot out of this, and I already know a lot. But I'm always going to get more information, and people are going to get a lot out of what you have to say. Very, very cool stuff. Okay, so before we kind of dive into some of the questions that I wrote down and things along those lines, Yulin, kind of give us a little bit of a Reader's Digest brief overview of where you work, what area, things along those lines. Talk about all that good stuff.
Okay, I start with part-time for realtor.
Okay.
And it doesn't do really well, but it's still working well for myself because as part-time, you get $100,000 a year. It's pretty good. So after a few years, I feel like my business has I can do even better. And with kids, I have 2 girls. So I'm full-time mom before I do the work. So I really want to spend time with them. I don't want to take out too much of my time from taking care of them. So I want to make sure I have my own career. Also, I can take care of my kids. Mm-hmm. That's why I choose real estate. But actually, it spend more time on the work, especially weekend. I need to do lots of open house at the beginning to start with. So now I still try to find the balance between family and my work. Mm-hmm. But after I joined the Century 21, I see the big improvement because I really know what I'm doing right now.
And I guess that's a good thing.
Definitely a good thing.
Okay, good. And for those that don't know, Yulin, what areas predominantly do you work?
I work in San Gabriel Valley. So most likely Arcadia, Pasadena, Rosemead, San Gabriel area. Okay.
All right. Very good. Okay. So, and then just for everyone that doesn't know, so she's just got another listing. So once that closes, that'll probably put you right at Centurion or very close to. So congratulations. Very good year. So, and it's continuously gone up. You've certainly put in the work towards that. So very cool. So let's kind of start then. So COVID happened 2020, March. So we're a year and a half past that. So, and yet here you are having your best year ever. So talk about that. What adjustments did you make when COVID happened to all of a sudden really take your business to another level?
Okay, when COVID happened, at the first time, I thought, maybe I need to take 1 year off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then
thank you for not, by the way, on behalf of Century 21 Masters and everyone who gets paid, thank you for not doing that.
But you know what, since Robert and Neil have started a Zoom meeting, so I have to work then. I joined the Zoom meeting and then I see everybody's working. I say, okay, this year probably it's a good year for me to focus just my career. And because I don't need to drive my girls to the school or after school. So I decide to put in more time and make my schedule and follow through and commit to the schedule. So that's why I kind of improve myself a lot in this time.
Got it. So really instead of taking a year off because of the chaos, you decided to go the opposite way and really focus on the career.
That's correct.
Okay, got it. And so walk me through, what were a couple things that you did when you say you focused on your career? What things you changed or added or did to do that?
Okay. So since this year, I'm full-time, I'm really full-time on my work. So I follow through the My Ferry system. I do role play, I write scripts, I memorize, and I try to internalize. And also I do all the role play with listing presentation and try to cold every day. So I follow through all the system. Also, the other good thing for me is I did follow through with all my clients. I keep follow up with them. So I see the result from following up with
Got it.
those leads.
Okay. Following up, staying in touch, things.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say, you know, working on the Mike Ferry system, how long have you been working with the Mike Ferry system?
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Mhm.
So how did that change the business? I mean, what were some of the things you were doing now that you weren't doing previously?
You know, before I joined My Ferry, I have no direction. So I just throw myself out there and then I do the open house. I don't know even what I'm saying to the clients. So I lost lots of opportunity. I see them walk away from me because I don't know how to handle them.
Yeah.
And also I just tried to do some flying postcard. I spent lots of money, but I didn't get much result from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't have a good business system and I don't know what am I doing. So after joining My Ferry, I clearly see the structure.
Yeah.
So you just need to follow through the structure. You will be there, but it takes time. At the beginning, I just freaked out. Wow, I'm really sucks. I don't know what am I doing and maybe I won't be successful. I feel so down. And since I have coach and you, so I kind of feel like, yeah, someone's there for me. I just need to follow through and take time and be successful. So yeah, setting a goal and move forward.
So let's talk about that for a second, because you're not the only person that has that feeling sometimes when you're going through the system, whether it be a Mike Ferry system or any sales system in general. Yours with Mike, but they could be going through any system, yeah, where the feeling is, gosh, I'm not very good. Am I going to be successful at this? Yes. So how do you keep going? When you were having those moments, how do you keep doing this practice, doing the work? What gets you through that?
Okay, so I remember all the My Ferry event. My Ferry has invited lots of top agents to the stage, do the speech. Everybody has same experience like me. Mm-hmm. And Neil has interviewed lots of master realtor in our company. And during the interview, you can see everybody has same experience. You start from zero, right? And you keep moving forward. You can't stop, and you will be there.
That is really good advice. That everyone goes through it.
Yes.
All the people on stage, all the people we've interviewed, everyone goes through it. You just have to keep pushing.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. No, that's really good advice. I love it. I love it. So what you worked on some of the skills and things along those lines when you got involved with the system, learning more what to say. Were there any particular scripts that you focused on more than others? Was there a particular skill that you worked on more than others?
I think everything is so important to me. Also the objection handling. At the beginning, I don't know, there's more script I need to memorize. Yeah. So I realized the objection handling will help me to interact with the client, handle their objection. So I start to memorize objection handling and I can see my result from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So starting with the objection handlers, really getting those down.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. That's great. That's great. So now prior to Masters, were you doing mostly buyers, sellers, 50-50? What was the bulk of your business?
All my business focus more on listing agent.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would love to take a listing rather than buyer. So I usually just skip the buyer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the case?
Oh, well, sorry.
Did you to Mike and all the stuff that we're doing, were you always a predominantly a listing agent, or were you more of a buyer's agent? Was it 50-50?
At the beginning of my business, more half and half.
Okay.
But toward a few years later, I just focus on listing. So now I'm more like this year, I do 70% of listing.
Wow. Congratulations. And so what was the difference there? So you went from 50%, now you're at 70% listings. Is that just comes with the skills, or how did you move more towards being a predominant listing agent?
Okay, so of course, you need to sacrifice those buyers. So when I get a lead with buyers, I usually just put away. Yeah, so I don't really try to work with buyer.
Right now, there's probably a bunch of agents running to your desk to find all those buyer leads that you just keep putting away.
Yeah, I will willing to share though.
So, okay, but here's the problem. Here's the problem people run into, Yulin, and this is kind of a lot of the stuff I want to get into with you, is how do you just turn that off? How are you okay when a buyer lead comes in, you say, no, I got to go get listings? Like how does that mindset work?
Okay, like we talk about this, I set a standard. I just follow through my standard. I set a goal, I need to follow through. So when I see buyer, I don't even think. I just don't disregard the buyer leads. I just focus on the listing. I know that make my business easier, and I can also take care of my girls.
And you can take care of your girls because as a listing agent, you have more control of your time, and you don't have to do the weekends and stuff like that.
I still do open house, but I can control the time frame.
Right.
It's not like buyers spend all of our time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting is by doing that, your production has actually gone up. So by getting rid of leads, you've actually gotten more deals.
Because I got more time to prospecting. That's I figure I rather choose the time to prospecting than taking the buyer in my car and driving see the home.
I hope everyone wrote that down. I hope if nothing else comes from this time that we have together, that everyone really understands that point. That's a really, really good line. Good for you. That's great.
Thank you.
Now, okay, so the buyers you do work with, so what are the qualifications that they have to meet to work with them? Because you do still close some buyers.
Yes.
So what are the standards that a buyer has to have?
Okay, first of all, they got to be motivated and realistic.
Okay.
And secondly, they have to sign a buy broker agreement with me.
Okay.
Then I'll put them in my car.
Okay. So motivated, realistic, buyer broker agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. Then they'll go in the car.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else is no, sorry, move on next.
If I feel the client can really communicate with me, or they are not realistic, even I tell them the truth, they cannot accept the truth, I won't work with them. Even the seller. Yeah.
So even if it's a seller that's not motivated and realistic, you'll walk away from that as well.
Yes.
How many deals do you think you walk away from a month?
I can say at least 2 deals to 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would agree that you walk away from a lot of deals.
Yes.
and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that because you have set these standards, all those standards, we have calls where you'll go, yeah, I have this lead, they're interested in doing this, but I don't want to work with them. And I just go, okay, great. No problem. But so to kind of put a wrap on that, let's just say that you're having a slow listing month.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever compromise the standards?
No.
So you don't have an active listing, you've closed out your escrows, you're refilling the pipeline. You don't lower the standards at all.
No, as long as you're prospecting, you don't need to worry about you have lack of leads.
That's great. Very good. Very good. Cool. I agree. Now, the other thing, from a buyer standpoint, one of the things you've made a little bit of a shift on is kickbacks. That was a big problem at one point, right?
Yes, I don't like it.
So if a buyer offers wants a kickback, they're motivated, they're realistic, but they want a kickback. Nope, not working with them.
No.
Okay.
You know it.
No, I know that.
You know.
but I wanted to point that out because that was a thing that you dealt with for a number of years of buyers wanting kickbacks. And it was at one point kind of I don't know, should I do it, to where all of a sudden it was like, okay, no, we're moving on type of thing. Very good. Okay, cool.
That's another reason I focus on listing.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't need to worry.
Okay, there you go. No, I think the standards that you've set are really the key to your business. So the other thing then is, how far out will you go for business? So you say you work the San Gabriel Valley. How far out are you to take a deal?
Like my Ferry and Neil say, if you want to go bigger, you got to become smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, now I try to stay in San Gabriel Valley.
Right.
So like Roland High, I try not to go that area. Or like Irvine, try not to go over those areas.
So you're really focused on that corridor.
Yes.
Very cool. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So another question I wrote down here. Last year, we kind of went through the numbers, and you and I had put together some marketing pieces. You, the top listing agent in the city of Monrovia. But that's not a market that you typically go after. So how explain that to me? It's not a market that you go after, you don't farm that area, and yet at the end of the year, you're the top listing agent in the city. How? Help me through this.
When you have a listing, we definitely need to put everything in, try to market in that area. Mm-hmm. So now whatever I take the listing, I put all my energy into that area and try to farm it. I doorknock, I cocoa, I do farming postcard and try to get more deal. That's my one of goal that I would like to achieve recently. So that's why I just get more listing that time and get lots of deal in Monrovia last year.
So it's getting a listing and then doing everything you can to find another one.
Yes.
And then you get another listing and then you would just do the same thing over and over again?
Yes, definitely.
Got it. Okay. I mean, because it's amazing when we look at those numbers for an area that you don't typically work a whole lot or a whole lot. Very cool. Got it. So, Yulin, what do you think your superpower is?
My superpower is I just work hard.
You just work hard.
Try my best. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Work hard, try your best. That's the superpower. Well, the truth is that is a superpower, especially in real estate. Because as you even said, most people, you got into real estate part-time. That's most people.
Yes.
So working hard and trying your best. Very good. Okay. And then, but now you mentioned you have the two daughters.
Yes.
Right. and they're involved in after school activities as well.
Yes.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about how do you balance all this? How do you balance being a super high productive real estate agent and being mom with 2 daughters that have after school activities and things along those lines? How do you balance all this?
You know, when I see those agents in my fairy event, they talk about they have family, has kids. They try to set the schedule. If they commit to the schedule, they actually has more time to spend with family. So I tried it and it really works. So I'm so happy that the system really, really works. So I have to really make sure myself to follow through the schedule so I can have enough time with family.
That's great. That's great. Setting a schedule and allows you to do those types of things and following that schedule. Okay. Got it. So are there ever days when you get up and you just don't want to go to work?
Yes, of course, I'm human.
Yeah. So what do you do? What gets you on those days? Because you're an independent contractor, you can't get fired, right? You can do whatever you want. You can start whenever you want. You work whenever you want. So how do you overcome that on the days you don't want to work, knowing that you can't be fired, you still go to work?
You know, I will tell myself if I don't work today, later of day, I will definitely hate myself because I'm being lazy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't want to hate myself. So why not just do the work and then prospecting 2 hours a day and then you are free, right?
Right.
I can be lazy on other items, but you cannot be lazy on prospecting.
I agree. Okay, perfect. Good. All right, I have more stuff, but I'll open it up here. Questions for Yulin. You can either unmute yourself or put the question in the chat box. We can ask here. Anyone has questions?
Yeah, hi Yulin.
Hi, Chris. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm well. Thank you for doing this. I think it's very inspiring to hear what you said, and I hear you prospect on our open mic thing. So it's great. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I can share your frustration sometime. I can share with your challenges. I got kids too. So my question is, how do you structure your as far as your day goes, and as far as kids activity and things like that? What is your set time for when you go on appointments? Because what you said, and I think that you and I share some of the same structure and belief that you have too. So just kind of get an idea, like your day is like. What time do you schedule your appointments, and how do you go about with how do you get your business and things, or where your business come from and stuff?
Okay,
Thank you.
so I try to work earlier, especially in the morning. I feel my energy level is better. So I try to wake up early at 6 o'clock, and then I start working on 7 o'clock. So I can wrap up everything before noon. So in the afternoon, if I need to drive my girls, I have the time to do it. If I have appointments, so my husband and me get agreement that if anything come up on my end, he will drive the girls. And my girl taking the ice skating, so she go to ice skating ring 6 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh, wow, okay.
My husband do it for me.
Okay.
So I
That's
can
good.
focus on my work, because in the
Right.
morning it's very important for me. And he understand that.
Okay.
So we share the work together.
Good.
And the other question you have, my resource for the prospecting, I try to open up my options. So I have for rent by owner and just list, just so neighborhood, and also past client, and ask for referral from COI data. And the important thing is Aspire is not my strong skill, so I'm still learning. I just don't want to give up.
That's great. I appreciate that, and I think that, yeah, that as long as you have that 3-4 good pillars, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good question. Good question. No, there's a lot of people in that boat of kids, family, things like that. So very good question. All right. What else? What other questions we have for Yulin? Anyone wants to ask? Actually, Yulin, this got sent. Oh, I'm sorry. Armin, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Robert. I'll wait.
No. By all
Oh,
means, sir. You go.
Anyways, when I first saw you coming on the Zoom, or when I first saw you, I noticed you talked a little faster, and it seems like you slowed down your speech a little bit. Is that true, you think?
Yes, English is my second language. I try to perfect my English, so I learn maybe spoke slower will help me to make better English. Do you feel that better?
No, yeah, I think it has. You've been way more clear, not way more clear, but I have noticed a difference in the rate of speech and the clarity of speech. So I think you've done a great job in that area.
Thank you, Aman.
I think that's a great point. You work with a coach on that?
What? Sorry?
Did you work with a coach on that?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
No, it's fine. But I know that there are people that do that when
Mhm.
English is their second, third, fourth language. Sometimes they work with a coach on that.
You know what? Actually, my coach is my daughter.
Your coach is your daughter?
He correct me all the time.
That's great. That's great. We have another agent in Arcadia, Lawson, who doesn't speak Chinese, but his daughter, he wanted to make sure his daughter did. So she goes to school that does half English, half Chinese. And so she knows all these things and he knows nothing. And it's funny. She's teaching him and she's, I think, 9 or something like that. So
Yes.
very funny. So
hey, Yulin, this is Michael.
Oh, go ahead, Michael.
Yulin.
Hi,
Yeah, I got a
Michael.
question, Yulin, for you. For all your business, what percentage of your customers are Chinese and what are not?
I never really look into it, but I believe at least 50% is Asian.
Good.
But-
Good.
Mhm.
So, Yulin, what would you say to people that are newer licensees? Now that you're a little more seasoned in the business, you've kind of gone through a couple different things. Someone who's a new licensee, or maybe someone who's just been out of the business or in a rut for a while, give them 2 or 3 things that can get them going.
The first thing I will think is script and objection handling. That really help you to know what you are doing, so you can handle and also talk with the client. And the other thing is just set a schedule. It really helps you to make sure you complete all the necessary work for yourself.
It's great. Scripts, schedule, all the basics. Very good. Good. I have more questions, but other questions from the audience for you, Lynn? Anything to ask? All right. So you mentioned a couple different sources. So what percentage of your business comes from your database?
Every year, I kind of look at my number. Since like a 50% come from
50%
past
comes from your
client.
database.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting about that is that's probably lower than most people. Not because you don't work your database, but I think it's probably because you do work other sources so well. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So, but you mentioned also at the start of the pandemic, you really did a good job of staying in touch with people. So how do you do that with your database? What's the system you use to stay in touch with your database?
That time, Neil has the good script for the past client. So I call them and keep reach out to them time to time, I think a lot. More than before, because during the pandemic, every people love to hear from you, right? So I kind of start chatting with them and then I got more referral from them.
Got it. Okay. And then how often do you call your database?
That time every month.
So every month. And then what about now? Do you still call them every month?
No,
How often do you call them now?
every 3 months.
Every 3 months. Okay. And then do you email? Do you mail?
I mail them every quarterly
Okay.
and call them every 3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Got it. All right. So why every 3 months when you were doing it every month? What was this reason to go back?
That's a good question.
Every so often I have one.
I didn't pay attention. I think I need to pay
Yeah,
attention. on that.
all right. Look at it. Robert, you're turning this into a coaching call. What are you doing?
Yes.
It's not what it's supposed to be.
That's a good reminder.
All right. Good job. Okay, so 50% comes from your database, and then where does the rest come from?
It's all from prospecting.
Prospecting, so you're just
for-
listed, things like
For
that.
rent by owner, just list, just sold, and also for sale by owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, good. Now, is there a specific objection handler? You've talked a lot about objection handlers. Is there a specific one that you use more than others, or one that you like more than others?
I think
Hold
the
on,
one I always have the objection is other agents say they can list higher or they want to list higher. I think the listing price is always the top number one question that I have.
Got it.
Mhm.
Hold on 1 second, Yulin. If someone can add any questions for Yulin, 1 second.
Okay.
Well, hi.
Hi, Chris.
Just curious. So, when you call your past clients, I mean, you just say, hi, how are you doing? And things like that on there. Do you normally ask for the referral, or it just kind of comes up with that? The question kind of comes up.
Okay, I will just ask them about their life first and then follow through, because I always take notes about my client, the conversation I have with my client. So I will continue the conversation, and then I will start asking how's are you planning to buy or sell the real estate? And then I have some kind of listing right now. And also the last question will be, do you know anyone?
Good.
Yeah.
Do you have like a certain guide or standards that who goes into your database? Like, anybody you just talk to one time that goes in, or you have to like have a feel that they know you or something kind of connection before you put them in?
That's a really good question. I try to organize all my database. So like my fairy say, they never give you business in maybe 6 months, everybody different. So you can drop the contact. So now I kind of organize all my information, set the client with different tier. So some of people like more close client, I will call them more often. The rest of people, if I call them, they don't respond my call after 3 times, I will drop them. Or I don't even see any referral or business related with them, I will just remove the database. Yeah.
I think that's great, because sometimes I get in that mindset to you keep bogging down, and you just the minute you start deleting a bunch of people, I feel very free. So
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
So another question, Robert, is it okay if I ask more?
Go ahead.
Okay, so another question is, when you go into servicing the listing, for example, I know that time blocking is very important. How do you go about servicing the listing after you get the listing? Do you meet up with a camera person there to take photos? Do you, show up for inspection? I mean, do you have someone to help you, or how do you go about that?
That's a good question. After we set the schedule, I signed the contract, I will arrange everything. So I will put all the schedule and to an email to the seller and tell them when the photographer will be there and when the staging company will be there, or all the schedule, and I won't be there.
Okay.
I'll just tell them who is going there and what time they will be there.
Okay, so you kind of like set up the seller what to expect and know when
Yes.
things like that in there. Okay, and then you
And very good point is I will let the seller know. In the morning is my prospecting time. So I try not to answer the call, but if you have urgent, you can just text me, I will return your call.
okay. And they're good with you know, not you being there for like photos and other
Yeah.
staging and stuff like that. Okay, good.
Mhm.
Good question.
Thank you,
Good
Chris.
question. All right. So, Yulin, as we're winding down here, I wrote a question down of, so you mentioned at the very beginning that with COVID, you were able to then strictly focus on your career because the
Yes.
kids weren't in school or you weren't driving them to school, things like that. Obviously, that's worked out very well. So now that things are more open, your daughters are back to doing some of the activities, things like that, and we're getting more and more open as everything keeps going forward. What can you put in place to make sure that this success continues the same way it did when everything was shut down?
That's so important, this question. I try to set my schedule, reschedule my all the items that I need to do right now.
Mhm.
So I definitely don't want to go backward. So I need to make sure I have a good schedule that can put in my prospecting and get my business going. So I definitely need to wake up earlier and then start prospecting in the morning. So I will have to put almost all my schedule in the morning and then try to finish out everything and then have an appointment in the afternoon.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really redoing it, making sure the morning is really important.
Yes.
It's everything.
Mhm.
Got it. Got it. Okay, cool.
So excuse me. So your prospecting time is only 2 hours every day for 5 days?
Okay, Michael, that's a good question. My minimum is 2 hours. If I have extra time, I'll definitely prospect in more than 2 hours. I won't stop just 2 hours.
But it's a no matter what, minimum is 2 hours.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
question.
you.
Good question. All right. Anything else? Any other questions for Yulin that we can answer?
have you mastered a listing presentation yet?
Kind of. Still improve. I'm still role play, so
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But let me jump in here, and I only know this because I coach her. Is she has been very dedicated to recording her role play listing presentation for a couple of years now. I constantly get recordings and I always give the feedback and things like that. And she's got it pretty good. I mean, she's at a really high level on knowing the listing presentation. So yeah, she's always very, very humble about it, but she's one of those agents that when you say, you know, are you interviewing another agent? And they say, yeah, Yulin, most agents go, oh crap, you know, because she's just got it down so well. But so Yulin, let me kind of wrap up on that then. How much has recording your listing presentation and sending it to your coach, how much has that been a help on getting the listing presentation at a high level?
you know, to listen to yourself, to seeing yourself to do the listing presentation is really hard. You know, at the beginning, I have the hard time to send you the video. After you seeing yourself, you really know what you need to improve. So
Yeah.
I think that's really helped me to get today's where I am here. So I think I will continue doing that and seeing myself. Even with my kids, I told them, if you want to do anything, just record yourself and you will see what you need to improve.
That's good advice. It's
Yeah.
good advice for your kids. Absolutely. I wish
Hey,
someone had told
Yulin.
me that when I was younger. I probably would have made some of the same mistakes I made, but we're getting down a dark path. Michael, do you have something?
Yes, I want to ask you a question regarding the presentation. So when you are working with your Oriental clients, do you still use verbatim the presentation, or is different when you have to do it all in different language?
Okay, if it's Chinese, of course, I need to speak in Chinese. Okay, but for most of my presentation is in English. Majority are in English, so I need to for forbidden of the script. Some of them, so I'm guilty here. Some of them I really follow through the listing presentation, but if after pre-qualify, I feel like this client definitely is different type. We know the personal type. So if I know this person, need to adjust my listing presentation, I will do it.
When they speak Chinese, do you do the Mike Ferry listing presentation in Chinese?
Yeah, try to, but usually I don't follow through the My Fairy script.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Jack Moss sent me a Chinese listing presentation one time, and I had no idea what he was saying, but I knew where he was in the script. I could follow, like, oh, okay, he's doing this now. I have no idea what he's saying, but I know where he is. So very interesting. Good stuff. All right, everybody, unmute yourselves. Give this woman the round of applause that she deserves for being on here today and all the good
Thank you.
information there.
Thank you.
Yulin, that was great. That there was a lot of really good points that you got in there. I'm excited to get this recording up and sent out, because there was a lot of good stuff there. So the last couple minutes here, what did we get? What were some of the takeaways that we got out of that? I wrote down stuff. I coach her and I wrote down stuff. So I hope somebody else wrote down stuff.
I like what Yulin said about you have to go small to go big. No, you have to, yeah, that's it. You have to go
No,
small.
go ahead, Alexis. Go ahead.
Yeah, you have to go small to go big.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that one.
Yeah. Focus on the core area.
Mm-hmm.
Very good point. Good point. All right. What else? What else did we get out of that?
I think internalizing those scripts, I think memorizing them is important. And then for us to be able to know, it helps us know what to say, all the different challenging situations.
Yeah. Yeah. In the interesting point I wrote down on that, Andrea, with, Yulin, you said, learn the scripts, schedule and stuff like that. Most of the people Neil has interviewed or we've had on our masterminds over the last year and a half, Neil will ask that question, what would you say to someone who's starting their business and things like that? Almost all of them say the scripts. So must be something to that thought of really getting the scripts down to really make your business go to the next level. So good point. And she's doing it with English as her second language. So some of us where English is your first language, come on. All right, what else? What else did we get?
Hey, Robert,
Yes, Michael.
I remember when Neil was saying that when we supposed to go on vacation, we get everything done like in a hurry within 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And if we feel that if we don't have time, we got to complete it. I feel like she having 2 daughters and all the work that she got at home is like she's going on vacation every day. That's the reason she get it all done, because she knows that she needs to finish it. Some people, they don't have any official, they feel they have the whole day to finish it. And that's why sometimes it's not done.
I gotta tell you, that is such a key point that Michael brings up is you need to, it's really important for those of you that are working on creating a schedule, and Yulin talked about a schedule a lot, is you need to put an end time to your day. What time do you want to end your day? And now to Michael's point for Yulin, it's, it might be more like I kind of have to end my time at this day because I got 2 daughters and I have this and I have that. But even if you don't have that, you still need to put an end time. Otherwise, to Michael's point, you feel like you have all day. Well, I won't get it done now. I got the whole day. And then it's 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and you're still doing things because you keep pushing stuff off until I have all day. But if you say, no, I have to be done at this time, you will, to Michael's point, like you're going on vacation, you know, the plane is leaving at this time. You will get everything you need done to get to the airport, to get on that airplane, to go on vacation. You need to have that same mentality. It's a very, very good point. Very good point. Cool. All right. What else? What else did we get?
Start recording yourself on the presentation.
Recording yourself. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. And she mentioned that she didn't, she was nervous sending it at first because, nobody likes the way they look or sound the first time they see themselves on video. But I carry this same mentality is if you don't like how you look and sound on video, how are you going to do something in person? Like that's what you can't edit the in person. You can edit the video, so you have to get over that and just record it and where you can get better. Great point. Good point, Chris. Thank you. All right. What else? What else
Can
did
I
we
say
get?
something?
Yes, Yvonne.
Okay, thank you, Yulin, for in Chinese language. My coach wanted me to find a role play partner. So I role play with her. She was always reliable, always there. So I can come. So today what I learned from her is drop off those kickbackers. Somebody wants kickback. No, stop it. No,
Yes,
stop.
yes. It's not just a
Yeah.
culture thing. Yes, drop them.
Yeah, drop them. And also, I realize, yes, in order to really do well, you really need to focus on listing. I realized myself, this year was doing very well because I have been focused on listing myself. So I would say probably 80% of my business is from listing.
Mm-hmm.
So the buyers are either bought my listing and double-ended it, or I sold their home. I had to help them buy. But now I started working with this particular buyer. You know the story. They were my past clients. I did do something, to make the deal work. They have listings for me to take. So I did what I normally don't want to do. So now I need to really focus on prospecting so I can get rid of those I don't want to work with. And also I like what she said, when I work hard, I feel good about myself, me too. When I work hard, I make, I accomplish something, accomplish my goal that day, I would sleep better that night. If I was lazy, I was, not doing my job, I really feel lousy, feel bad. So I really like that.
Yep. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. We say that all the time with, for people that work out, is when you work, if you're supposed to work out or exercise and you don't do it, you typically feel worse than if you had just gone to do the run or do the workout, whatever the case may be. It's the same concept here with just the going to work, doing the work. Good stuff. Good point, Yvonne. I love it. I love it. All right. Anything else as we wrap up here? What else? Anything else to point out?
I have something to also
Yes.
add.
Yes.
Okay, so I really like when Yulin said that she does minimum of 2-hour calls, minimum. I really like it. And she said that she also does a lot of follow-up, I think, which is the key, right? Because 80% of your, business will come from that follow-up, like 5-6 times follow-up.
Yep.
And then being consistent. So I really like that she said that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, look, prospecting without lead follow-up is useless. So if you're not going to do the lead follow-up, then all you're doing is just wasting your time prospecting, which is what a terrible thing to do, to waste time. There's plenty of other fun things you can do to waste time than getting told no all day. So you have to follow up. Super key. Good point, Alexis. Good point. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. I wrote down, if anyone's curious, that she said she was better off prospecting for listings than taking a buyer and driving them around. It's a hard mentality to take because you have a potential dollar amount in your car. So it's a hard thing to do, but it's the same concept of getting bigger, getting smaller that we talked about. Is she kind of got bigger by getting smaller with the people she was working with. She lowered the number of people she was working with, but that was such a really, really great line. Very, very good. Cool. But it only works if you're actually going to do the prospecting. Okay. So I don't want people saying, all right, well, I'm not working with any buyers, but I'm also not going to prospect for listings. We're going to have a problem. Okay. You got to do one or the other. Good stuff. All right. Yulin, you are a rock star, and I can't thank you enough for letting us hear some of this really great stuff that you're working on, and very, very cool. I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you for everyone to being here and listen to them.
No.
Yeah.
We thank you over and over and over again. So good job. Way to go. Did you get your 2 hours of prospecting in today?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. All right. I'll leave you alone.
Thank you, Yulin. Thank you, Robert.